Well guys, good morning, good afternoon, and good evening to all. Welcome to Hartung Family Farms, and today, shout out to Brian Brown Farms, Brian Farming Videos. Go check him out, by the way. Today, it's a day that has been long awaited. We're actually going to work our cattle today. We're going to wean our calves and bring them down here, so that way, this is the earliest that we've ever done it. The reason we're doing it early is because we always had to pause harvest for 2 days and get these things moved. So what we're going to try and do is we're going to try and do it right now before we even start harvesting. So that's what we're going to do today, but first, let's go check out what's going on. Alrighty, ladies and germs. My Uncle Bun is working on the combine right now, actually on the corn head. We're replacing it, putting all new gathering chains and drives and sprockets on the gathering chains just because they're getting pretty worn. It goes like $1,000, but I mean, it's what you got to do. This corn head will be almost brand new by the time we're done with it because we replaced the snapping rolls 2 years ago, gathering chains. I mean, this corn head's going to last for a while, we think, so if we don't sell it soon. But anyway, so I'm going to head out back. It looked like we got a couple bean fields that are pretty dang well close. I'm going to go back and take a couple bites of the moisture, see what it's at, because who knows, maybe the next dry spell we get, maybe we can start harvesting. Hopefully we get a dry spell at least. It's supposed to rain tomorrow. Boo. But let's head out back. Much better. Don't know if you saw that. No more flat tires. All right, let's head out back. By the way, here's the beanage bag that we have. Definitely didn't bag the cleanest. Can you tell what was double seated here? Any guesses? Yeah, it got a little too heavy. Just a little bit. But for the most part, these beans aren't looking too bad. This stuff's gonna be a little green, just because it's all on the ground. But I mean, big plants. But when I go over here, I still see that there's a decent amount of green leaves here still, but for the most part the stand's pretty good. It's actually decently tall beans. We got these planted pretty actually early for beans goes. We got these planted May 16th. It's the first field that I planted, the first field we planted with the new bean planter, and it looked like it turned out pretty well. Pretty high, about hip height. Rough pod counts. Wow, I'm gonna guess the ballpark 70 pods per plant here, so who knows, we might be yielding in the 50s or 60s here, which isn't bad for this ground. But it's starting to dry down. The top of the plants don't have their leaves anymore, the bottom still do, so it's still a good week out, I'd say. Week out of good drying weather, but it's coming along pretty well. Let's grab a plant and bring it back to Pat, see what he thinks. Alrighty guys, so I just scouted another field and I'm actually kind of surprised. So here's the first field I scouted that I showed you guys. Here's the one that I didn't. We planted this second one about a week later, but it was a lot quicker maturity bean. And I actually think these will go probably in 5-6 days. Well, this will be probably a little over a week. It's kind of interesting how that works. Even though we planted it a week earlier, it's much better looking. The stalks are about 6 to 8 inches taller, so we'll yield a lot better there, but it's just gonna take a little longer to dry down. So it's kind of interesting. Playing a quick game of musical equipment, move the chopper out, move the 340 out, and put the combine back. So right now we got a bearing out on the chopper box, where the PTO goes into the drive line, goes into the actual box itself. The main bearing that holds that went out, so Bun's gonna fix that and then keep working on the corn head. We're gonna shut things down and go start moving cattle today. I believe that's the plan. We're gonna wean cattle. That'll probably change though. Alrighty guys, so I'm in the 340 right now. We're gonna go chop a load of earlage. Just got a chopper box, so we're gonna chop one load of earlage just for ourselves. And then we're gonna go move cattle. I promise. Here we go. We're gonna go chop a load of earlage. Don't have time to get the drone up because we're in a hurry. My dad's gonna leave at 2 and he's up at Bellevue wrangling the cattle. So we're gonna chop a load of earlage. Then Brian and I are gonna take pickups down to go load calves up. While Pat's gonna go down to his yard, we're gonna go put the calves. He's gonna go clean the yard up and get that ready for calves. We're gonna move first 2 loads. We're gonna borrow our buddy's gooseneck trailer. We're gonna haul 29 calves down south to Preston, to Pat's place. Then we're gonna come back. Brian's gonna take another load of 14 down, and I'm gonna take the 3 bulls back. I am turning this stupid display volume down. Good gravy. That is annoying. Alright, we're going back to go chop one load of earlage. Here we go. So we're doing here, guys, this type of chopping, we're actually just taking in the ear and nothing else. So literally just the ear, the husk, whatever a normal corn head would do, that the combine would clean out the kernels, we're taking in everything that a normal corn head would do. And this is basically just a different feed value that it provides for our cattle. And we really like it. We've been doing it for a while, chopping earlage. So we really enjoy it. It provides a good different feed value for we usually like to chop this a little bit drier than what we do for silage. Chopping away. This 340's got plenty of power, that's for sure. And what this chopper does, it basically just, like I said before, it takes in the entire kernels of corn or cobs of corn and all the leaves that come in with it and crushes it all up, cracks the kernel, cracks every single one. Cracking the kernel is key with chopping because that allows you to get the most starch and nutrients released. So as I mentioned before, guys, what we're doing is we're actually not our full chopping yet. We won't do chopping for us just because we have later corn. We won't do that fully for us for probably another week or two. No, probably at least 2 weeks. Because we're actually going to do some custom chopping. This is literally just to hold us, just to tie us over. That's all this feed is for. So we'll dump this in our pit and we're going to feed it out for the next 2 weeks. So just look around. You can kind of, I don't know if you guys can see, but you can definitely tell where I switched bean maturities. You can definitely tell. Kind of right there is a different bean maturity than the other two. I like chopping, guys. I usually don't get to help out so much with it. It's fun how much material that chopper can eat. Going about 2.5 mile an hour, taking in about 220, 240 bushel corn. Alrighty, now we're gonna chop back and go from there. So I just whipped around, guys. So one full pass got me about 3/4 full wagon. So now when I come back, I just kind of pulled into the yard to a little pass. He cut out an end row, backed up and turned around. Now when I come back here, fill the rest of this wagon up, we're probably making about halfway down. Full at the quick because I'm full. Pretty nice, the FR 9060 still eats corn 10 years later after we bought it new. Give you guys some real-time action. Just about full, ladies and germs. Look at that thing eat. It's a nice thing about that chopper, it can fill me to the brim moving that spout. And there we are, ladies and germs. Just got done. I am plump full. And Pat's calling me, so I gotta let you go. Hey, what's up? Okay. Okay, I'll follow you. Alright, sounds good. Bye. So now we're gonna go move some calves. Pat just put the spout in the cradle. All done chopping for right now. I think we might do a couple more loads later tonight because we are out of feed, especially earlage. Earlage is probably our favorite feed. It's got the best feed value. It's got more kernels. It's got more kernels per ton compared to silage. So we like chopping a lot of it. I'd say towards it, in all, we chop probably as much earlage as silage, maybe even a little more earlage because we usually put up a bag. And then, because silage you can usually mix in with kind of ratio that out with haylage if we want to. But he's pulling away from me, so I better get going. So you guys are probably wondering what this big old hump of grass is that's just in the middle of our field. Well, we actually have it in there for water quality. So this is a big old hill, and basically everything drains right here to the middle. So what we did is we actually just put a big old dike, so all the water just kind of sits in here. We put a big drain tile that goes in and basically takes the water out of here, so it saves our soil from washing down this hill, and it also basically filters the water, and it's a win-win for everyone. We've had this dike for numerous years, at least 50. Also, there is no such thing as overkill, and with these hills with a fully loaded chopper box, I'll take this 340 Magnum over our 190 Maxim any day, because it's got duals, it's got weight, it'll pull this thing around and won't get pulled around by this full wagon. Discharges it out the side. It's a pretty good system. We like these Meyer boxes. Actually, we really like these Meyer boxes. We'd recommend them for anyone. We used to have Badger, but we really like the Meyer ones now. What we're doing is just dump it in our pit so we can use it, so we can feed it out in the next week. Each one of these loads will last us about 3 days. Guess who's back again? I am back because my mic kind of pooped out for the rest of the video, so I'm going to pull a Brian Brown, and I'm going to basically have to do a voiceover for a majority of the rest of this video. So I'm not sure what exactly happened. My mic just started goofing up. I think I might have dropped it, and then I think it just happened for this day that I was out here, so just this video. So as far as I know, the next 2 videos that I recorded are fine, but again, this is going to be a voiceover. This is not a permanent thing. I'm just going to have to kind of talk through what was going on here. So what we just ended up doing, we just chopped a load of earlids like you guys just saw, and Pat just to go ahead and unhook the corn head off the chopper and put the silage hedge on, while I went over and grabbed the gooseneck and our good truck and our gooseneck stock trailer and headed to Bellevue. Brian, while Pat and I were chopping, Brian went off to go hook this truck up, and then he went off to go fetch our neighbor's gooseneck that we kind of borrow when we move cows, so that way we can be much more efficient, have 2 trailers moving instead of 1, and get everything done in half the time. It actually works out pretty well. So I'm just heading up to Bellevue right now, just heading through the Bellevue bottoms, not too far away, just kind of probably explaining some boring stuff that you guys don't want to hear. But anyway, so I don't really know if I explained much what we were doing today, but we were weaning our calves off the cows up in this upper pond pasture right off the Bellevue Cascade Road here. So we have 29 calves up here. So my dad is really good about them. He had them all in the corral, 29 calves and 2 bulls up in the corral here. So you can kind of see, here's just a time lapse of us kind of getting the calves in. Sorry, it's a little bit bumpy for the first little bit. But anyway, so this is my trailer. We loaded up. So Brian, my dad, and I, we have them all kind of corralled in. The key with cattle is to have a nice tight gate coming up to the trailer, so that way you can keep it nice and tight, and that way the cows can't roam around and get loose when trying to go in there. So you can kind of see we have a wide opening to get them up in there, and then you just kind of squeeze it down just so they have no place else to go. It's the most efficient and safest way for everyone involved. I mean, those cattle weigh 4 times more than what we do. Those cattle average 700, 800 pounds. I mean, those working cattle can be very dangerous, so we take as many precautions as possible. So Brian and I are heading back to Bellevue right now. We're heading back to Pat's place in Preston. That's where these calves are going to be weaned, and that's where they're going to start getting fed out before they get sorted at the vet and then divvied out to different feedlots. They're going to stay at Pat's place for at least probably till February or so, until we can sell the rest of our fat cattle, and then they can start getting put on rations with the rest of the cattle that we get. So all of our calves that we get in, they're actually from our surrounding farms in our area. So when people think of Iowa, they don't think of cattle, but Iowa is actually the seventh biggest producer of beef cattle in the United States, which is, like I said, doesn't surprise me much because I know how much cattle there is up here, but there's actually a decent amount of cattle. But anyway, back to here. So we're actually going to pull the truck up to this barn right here and run them into that kind of back half of the barn, which I'm walking to right now. And here's a time lapse of it. So we just kind of again set up gates, funnel them in there. So Brian's gonna sneak them out. I'm just there holding it, just so just so they don't kind of break through there. But you can kind of see with cattle, you want to be as small and as still as possible. That's why I kind of ducked down, and they really went in there pretty smooth. But so now we're gonna rinse and repeat. But this time we only have, so we had the 29 calves that were up top, but the 2 bulls are still up in that top corral. So quick side note, we stopped in Bun's fixing that PTO in the chopper block still, and I got my first lunch in a pail of the fall, which was pretty awesome. I miss those. We're gonna have a lot more coming on. And for those of you guys who don't know, my grandma is a saint. She gives me milk in a coffee can, which is awesome. But she provides the lunches for every single meal that we have on the farm for everyone that's working, and she actually provides half the dinners too. So she's an absolute hard worker for being in her mid 80s, and I love her to death. But anyway, so I had my first lunch in a pail of the year. And we're heading back up to Bellevue. As I said, there are 2 bulls in the upper pasture, which is kind of straight through the screen, which you guys just saw. And then the lower pasture, which is to the left of me right now, we had, I believe, 14 cows, 14 calves, and a bull. So what we wanted to do is we try to figure out how can we best get these things out of here and minimize the trips, because we actually had to back down this lane about a quarter mile. So we had to try and minimize the trips down there. So what we actually decided to do was just pull all the calves up, pull all the moms up. So I think we're going to make 2 trips down here. So we actually stuck a bull in the front of Brian's trailer, and then stuck 7 moms in there, and then stuck the rest in mine. So all that's left down here are the calves. So what we'll do is I'll back down here. I'll come back down there just to get the rest of the calves all on my trailer, where Brian will take the bulls back. So sorry I'm not being very it's kind of hard explaining this after the fact, but what we did was we wanted to get a goal of having all the bulls and all the calves back to Preston today. And we actually ended up doing that in 4 trips. The first 2, which you guys saw, were 29 calves, and this next one will be 3 bulls, which are loaded up in Brian's trailer right now, and then I'll take the rest of the calves. So we offloaded all the moms, and then we loaded the bulls back on Brian's trailer, and then these are loading the calves on my trailer for the last time. And I'm like, come on, Kib. That's what we saw. So here's some audio that actually did work. Well, there goes Dad, and hey boys, that's not good. We forgot to shut the slide gate. Hi boys. We realized we didn't shut the slide gate when we were back at the loading the calves. We hurried up here, but we were thankful the bulls are pretty tame. So that door was open and the bull could have gotten out, but thankfully he didn't. So now we're gonna head back. Brian's gonna go return those bulls. We rent them every year, we don't own them. So return those bulls to the owner, and we're gonna bring these calves back with the other ones, and then unhook trailers and then find something else to do. Just got to Pat's place. Looks like he is sucking liquid manure, so I'm gonna turn around, back up to the barn where we unload the calves and unload them. Yep, he's sucking up liquid manure. That liquid tank is pretty nice. Time to get these suckers ready to go. Hi, Gibbs. Hi, Gibbies. Hi, Gibbies. Come on, Gibby. Let's go. Yep. Come on. Come on, Gibby. Come on, girls. Come on. Come on. Let's go. There you go. Come on, hip. Hip. Let's go, hip. Come on, hip. There you go. Come on, Gibbies. Come on, hip. Alrighty, so my Uncle Bun is working on the wagon right there. He's just about finished up with it. I'm gonna grab the other GoPro out of the 190 that Curtis was using the other day. And then I'm going to switch the computer. I'm going to take the Pro 700 out of the tractor Steiger, put it in the combine, put the Bluetooth puck in there as well, and poof, go from there. Actually, then probably go home. More likely that's what I'll be doing. Go cut grass and then go to my sister's volleyball game. And the audio pooped out again. So I'm not, like I said, guys, I'm not sure exactly why it did this, but So as you guys heard, I'm gonna take off the farm early, but before we did that, before I took off, what I wanted to do is I wanted to take the Bluetooth out of the sprayer and put it in the combine. The big reason is we dabbled around with Field View for the first time last year, and we really liked it. It's a very good way of kind of offloading the data into a much more user-friendly surface. I want to do more with it. I've talked with Brian Brown and how he uses his Field View, and we don't even tap into the full potential of it. So anyway, we wanted to make sure we were collecting the data for fall on at least one machine, what we did for spraying. So that's why I wanted to unhook it out, take it off the sprayer. And in order to do that, what the Bluetooth puck is on a case sprayer, essentially there's a CAN wire that goes into the Pro 700, and that basically CAN is essentially the brains of the machine. It has all the data streams and everything that you need to control on the machine. And what I had to do was essentially take a splitter and go in between that connection between the display and the CAN monitor, and the Bluetooth puck actually just a male female splits in between there, so it also puts the data on the Bluetooth puck, which displays it, which broadcasts it to the Field View app. So that's what I did, and all it is just 2 screws and a bracket. It took me about 5 minutes to whip this thing off, and I'm not sure exactly what I'm explaining here. If you guys haven't heard, I can talk very well, but I'm not sure what I'm explaining here. But essentially what I did is just unscrew the 2 bolts, unhook the connections, and then put the normal connections back on the sprayer, and then it was good to go. And then there was also a suction cup mount on holding the iPad too, I took off. So really it was pretty simple. It took about 5 minutes, and then I'm back in the combine. But the thing with the combine though is we actually had to take the display. There's no display in here right now because this display is actually using our Steiger 400 as well. So I had to hop over to the Steiger and take that display out of there, which I didn't show on camera. But now I'm just kind of talking about how I want to lay this out, so you can kind of see the RAM mounts. Oh, perfect. Oh, just look at that. Click. I completely forgot to do that. But basically, like you said, that's how we like to lay it out. We have the iPad to our right, and then the display, the Pro 700 monitors to the left. The Pro 700 is where we look at a lot of our machine controls and kind of read it. That's the readouts of the machine, the main readouts that we care. So we like it in a good spot. But anyway, so that's what I did. It only took about 10 minutes total to swap everything over. This Field View is actually pretty nice. I personally want to get at least one more. I would love to get 3 total systems on our farm. I really like having the data in the palm of our hand. I also want to get the mobile app, but I can't remember our login, so I got to do that at some point. But again, it's just a really nice tool to get data offloaded. But anyway, it looks like the video is starting to wrap up. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Again, this is not a regular occurrence. This is just kind of a one-time thing that the mic pooped out. Hopefully I got the mic issues fixed, which I think I did. But anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed that video. If you guys did, be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Follow us on Facebook and Instagram at Hartung Family Farms. And of course, guys, as always, you have a good one, and ta-ta for now. God bless everyone. Have a one.